I'm Jarek from Qualitative Researcher, and in this video I will talk about different types of qualitative interviews, so semi-structured, unstructured and structured interviews, as well as a couple of other types. And this video is the first in the series of videos on interviewing as a method. So if you like this content, consider subscribing so that you can follow and know the updates and when I post the next videos. Interviews are arguably the most common technique in qualitative research and probably the first one that comes to our mind when we think about qualitative research. And this is not really surprising, because after all, in real life, when we want to find out something from somebody, the first thing we do is ask them. There are three main categorizations of interviews in qualitative research. These are structured interviews, semi-structured interviews and unstructured interviews. So I will start with discussing these types. The structured interview, otherwise known as a survey interview, is, as the name suggests, a very structured interview. So the interview guide is extremely structured. It has very fixed, focused questions. And in fact, the way they are structured, they are supposed to elicit responses which are also very structured and fall under certain categories. So for example, if you were interested in asking how much people like certain food, or I don't know, let's say curry, you'd ask them how much they like it, and ideally you'd also ask them to rate it. So for example, to say whether they really like it or they don't like it at all. So it really reminds a questionnaire. So this is why it's called a survey interview. So very structured. You don't really want your participants to explore any topics in detail. You are just fixed on getting these focus responses, which, as I said, usually fall into certain categories. So it's very easy to categorize them later and analyze them. The semi-structured interview, probably the most commonly used type, also involves an interview guide, but here you are much more prepared, and in fact you're expecting the participants to develop the topic further. So you have a general idea of what you want to talk about, but you really want your participants to give you new insights. So you are prepared to encourage them to develop their thoughts. You're asking them follow-up questions and giving them prompts to encourage them to elaborate on these topics. So not unlike in a structured interview where you just wanted to get really fixed responses, you really had an idea of possible responses in your mind when you developed the interview guide. Here you don't really know what they are going to say in the semi-structured interview. The structure is only there to provide a very general structure for the discussion, because after all you have some kind of general topic in your mind. I will talk more about developing interview guides and how to ask the questions and what kinds of questions to ask and what kinds of questions to avoid in the following videos in this series. And finally, the unstructured interview is the interview which doesn't really have an interview guide. It's very unstructured and you are completely open to what your participants will say. So you don't really have this specific topic in your mind or any kind of specific questions, and quite often it's quite spontaneous. So it's more like a real-life conversation. In fact, quite often it's called ethnographic interview, and it's associated with ethnography as a method. Ethnography is a method that explores people in their groups of people and their natural settings. So it's really focused on the culture, the local culture of an organization or a culture of a school or of a subculture or any other group of people. Ethnographers like to get immersed in the environment. Quite often it's a longitudinal study, so it takes a long time, and the ethnographers are becoming real insiders in this organization or whatever they're investigating. So they really want to know everything about it. They want to know what people talk about, what they believe, what their attitudes are, how they behave. So another method, and usually the main method of data collection in ethnography, is observation. But interviews are very common, and they are in fact very unstructured. people have investigated plenty of things through ethnography, so different organizations and schools, and there are people who investigated gangs, so they actually became gang members of these gangs they investigated. And you can easily imagine that it's not a perfect setting if you're a gang member. Becoming a gang member, it's not a perfect setting to really pull out an interview guide and start asking your fellow gang members about their life. So these interviews are very, very unstructured. They don't have an interview guide. There is also a group interview. A group interview is, again, as the name suggests, an interview where you are interviewing the whole group. So you're asking questions to different group members. It's not exactly the same as focus group interview, so bear this in mind, because many people and some authors in some books actually suggest that these two are the same, or that these two names can be used interchangeably, so focus group and group interview, but they are a completely different thing. So I won't be discussing focus group interviews here because it's a different method. Then within these three main categories, semi-structured and structured and unstructured interviews, there are many other types of interview. But the thing I really want to talk about in this video, and this is something I tell my students, and I believe I've said it here many times as well. So don't really worry about, prior to your study, don't worry about what kind of interview you want to conduct, because your main goal and your main aim should be to get the answers to your research questions. So then after this you need to do whatever it takes simply to generate these responses, to get these answers. This is something I also said in relation to qualitative data analysis, when I said that you shouldn't be overly concerned with the structure or the type of data analysis or what it's called in the literature, but rather just to think about what you need to do to generate answers, and then you'll see which category it falls under. So the same situation applies to interviews. Don't restrict yourself to thinking, I want to conduct this certain types of narrative interview, for example. But first think about your study, your setting, your participants, and the questions you want to find answers to, and think what you can do to effectively elicit these answers. And eventually you will understand what kind of interview what you are doing may be described as, and then ideally you'll do some reading and perhaps get some more guidelines and get some more ideas for how to conduct it. This happened, for example, happened to me in one of my studies. I've talked about this study before when I talked about interviewing migrants and what I did with my study of migrants' identity. So basically what happened there was that during the pilot study I would talk to them and ask the migrants about their experiences in Scotland, and sometimes these experiences happened or took place 6 years ago or 10 years ago. So the problem was that they didn't really know when I asked them during the interview. I asked them quite specific questions. So I asked them, for example, can you remember any negative experience when you came here? I thought it was quite straightforward. Or can you remember something positive? Or can you remember your first thoughts about Scottish accent when you came here? I thought they would remember, but the problem was that during the interview they usually did not really remember. They didn't really tell me these things. And interestingly, after the interview, when I actually switched off the recording and we just continued this informal conversation, quite often they started to tell me the things that I specifically wanted to hear during the interview. So these were very interesting stories. They would just go on and start talking about their experiences, and we would kind of exchange our ideas, and because I was also this insider in that community of Polish migrants, and then eventually they would really give me very interesting accounts, and every time I just felt so frustrated that these did not happen during the interview. So I started to think what the problem was, and of course it came to my mind that the setting itself, so this new situation when I'm the interviewer and they are being interviewed, most likely influenced this, so they couldn't, perhaps they felt stressed. And this is also something I will talk about in the next videos, how to develop a good rapport and a good positive and friendly atmosphere of trust. So yeah, I thought that this would be the case, but also it felt like they simply, when they were given more freedom and more time to talk about what they wanted to talk about, that's when they started to remember. So in the interviews I had very specific questions, and I asked them, as I said, can you remember a specific experience which happened 6 years ago? So they couldn't really remember, but then as they were given this freedom and they were just discussing things that were not always relevant to me at first, eventually they would develop this narrative, and they would come up with things they couldn't remember before that. And based on this observation, I decided I need to restructure my interviews. So rather than asking them these specific questions that I want to find the answers to, I need to give them more freedom and just let them speak. So ask them very general questions and ask them to generally reflect on their time, on the time when they came to Scotland. So I started, after this, I started to read more about different types of interview, and I found this method called narrative interview, which was exactly what I wanted to do. So narrative interview, where you just let your participants speak more. You have a very general interview guide, but the whole point is to let your participants speak. And then, of course, they will go off topic. Sometimes they will tell you things that are not strictly relevant to your study, but among these things you will find very relevant things and the things that you precisely wanted to find out. So the point I am making again is that I didn't worry about calling my interview with a particular term from the literature. I didn't worry about this. I worried about what I want to find out. I used my observations, I used my intuition and what I observed during the pilot study to structure the interview. And after that I just found out that this is called narrative interview, which I followed with more reading and more guidelines for how to effectively conduct this type of interview. So the first thing you need to focus on, the first thing you need to think about when developing your interviews is what exactly you want to find out. Then think who you will be talking to, what your relationship will be with this person, and what questions you want to ask, what questions you need to find the answers to. Then start thinking whether you need a very clear structure, whether it doesn't need a structure, and this way you will be developing your idea. This way you will know where to go in the literature and what to focus on and what to read more about, rather than reading about all these different dozens of types of interviews and not really knowing what you need. So this is all about the types of interviews. Again, to summarize, there are semi-structured, structured and unstructured interviews, and within these interviews there are many different other categories. In the next videos I will talk more about developing rapport and developing trust and how to act during the interview and what to do, as well as what questions to ask and not to ask. And after this I will talk about analyzing interview data. Thanks again, and if you like this content, consider subscribing to this channel. Now I will be posting videos weekly, so hopefully you can stay in touch with the weekly updates and follow my content.